and I went to get her a mint.
I would like to call the meeting of the Rockingham County Board of Elections open for June 15th, 2021, at the Rockingham County Governmental Center, 371 North Carolina 65, Reidsville, North Carolina. Would you, I'd like to welcome those of you who have come this evening, and to welcome those who are watching by live stream. Will you please stand as we do the Pledge of Allegiance? Member Ferguson, will you lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
And will you remain standing? I think I've put my person who's supposed to be do the invocation. Paula, can you tell me who that person might be?
Yes.
Thank you. I have it. Pastor Tommy Brightwell from Community Baptist Church in Mayodan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Let us pray together. Father, thank you for this day and every day that you give us. Thank you for this great country that we're proud to live in, and thank you for this state. We especially thank you today for Rockingham County. We thank you for those who are willing to serve. When we read in our founding documents, it says that you place governments in, you take governments out. In our case, the government that you put in was to be governed by the people. And so, Father, we have people who will serve at the request of the people to do the people's will. I pray this afternoon that each person on the board will be blessed with your divine presence and to do what is according to your will. So, Father, bless our nation, bless our members in the service, and we just thank you that we do pray, for in God we trust. I pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose signify by saying nay. The motion carries unanimously. As we move on down the agenda, I'm asking for a motion to approve the minutes of May 18th and May 25th.
So moved. I second.
It has been moved and second that we approve the minutes for May 18th and May 25th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. You have adopted the minutes for May 18th and May 25th unanimously. At this time, we will have public comments, and I'll ask the attorney to read the public comments rules.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And the public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to election business or items on the Board of Elections agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Elections and not to staff, the audience, or media. The chairperson shall open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when he or she approaches the podium. The speaker shall be allotted 3 minutes and allowed to yield their time on a specific topic by utilizing one or more attendees' time, and this would allow no more than 6 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have one person who has signed up for public comment, and the first person, that person is Malcolm Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name's Malcolm Allen, and my residence is 770 Eden, North Carolina. I want to thank for the opportunity to speak to the board, and I want to encourage this board to pursue a path of democracy, transparency, and integrity, not political as many boards across our nation are doing. For you are better than that. Represent the voters no matter whether the outcome is favorable or unfavorable. It is a disgrace what is happening in Arizona and Georgia. Democracy knows no party, and democracy is what America stands for. Continue to follow her path. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we move to close the public comments, we'll move on to number 7, unfinished business, and which we will have a discussion or a presentation on a deep cleaning update and finalization from Member Ferguson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The deep cleaning of the Board of Elections office has been completed. I'm sure all of you have had an opportunity to go by the office and see all the hard work that was put into cleaning the outside of the office and the workshop and the sidewalks and the complete cleaning of everything in the office. Chris Cleaning Service did an excellent job. They went above and beyond our expectations and completed the task with hardly no interruption to our staff. Member Lawson and I would like to thank Jeff Crisp and all his employees that worked making our office building look the best it possibly could. Mr. Crisp and his employees even cleaned the front of Help Incorporated building for free so that it didn't make our building look so bad. Again, thank you, Jeff Crisp and everyone at Crisp Cleaning Service.
Do you have any questions, board members, or any comments that you'd like to make at this time?
I would like to make a comment. I went there after they had cleaned, and I must say they did an excellent job. I have not seen that office that clean in a long time.
It does look great, and thank you, ladies, for the job well done that you did in expediting this adventure. As we move on to B, contract for weekly cleaning update, Member Ferguson.
We sent information to 4 commercial cleaning companies with the proposed duties for cleaning the Board of Elections office twice weekly. These bids are for budget year July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. We received 2 bids for these services. The first one was from S&K Services, who currently has the contract for cleaning the office, submitted a bid of $550 per month. I spoke with Mr. Ed King, the owner of S&K Services, and he thought that his employee did a great job at the office, and she should be rewarded with a $50 a month raise. The second bid that we received was from Crisp Cleaning Service. His submitted bid was $500 per month. Member Lawson and I would like to recommend to the Board of Elections that we enter into a contract with Crisp Cleaning Service for the cleaning of the office. We feel this company would do an excellent job of cleaning the Board of Elections office.
Is there any discussion? I know that there is a question from the chair. I think we asked our council to check to see if we can come out of contract. If we are.
Is that
there-
presently with the vendor, I believe S&K? Is this the-
S&K.
Yes, that contract term, I believe, is expiring, or it will be expired at the end of this month, yes.
Okay, just wanted to be sure that we're on the right track and moving on with
Yes, ma'am.
someone else. Any other discussion, board members? So I'd like to entertain a motion.
I so move.
Moved in second that we retain Chris Cleaning Service to now be the persons or the entity for cleaning our office at the Board of Elections. It has been moved and properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All not in favor, say nay. You have unanimously agreed to extend our contract to Chris Cleaning Service. New business. Member Reese will discuss with us an idea that she would like to bring to the board about policies.
I'm not sure if all of the board is aware that the county revised their personnel policy handbook in May. And I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to look at that. I'm sure it's online, but it clearly states that employees governed by the provisions of Chapter 163 of the North Carolina General Statutes, Board of Elections are not subject to any of the provisions in this policy. I'm sure we've had this discussion before that the county provides funding. The commissioners approve all of our funding. And knowing that, I would like to see this board contact several counties and see what their policies are with regard to the Board of Elections, because I do feel that we need to have some sort of policy in place regarding personnel.
Any discussion, any questions?
I want to thank the member for bringing that to our attention. I think it's important that we have our own policies in place in the event and when it takes place that we are hiring someone. We can also utilize what they have to start with and build from that. But I think it's a good suggestion that we move forward, get the information from other boards of elections, and meld those together and come up with our own policies. So I support the members' discussion.
Madam Chairman, in addition to that, the new budget year starts, and it is my understanding that the commissioners have allocated money for this board to use a contract attorney, and that would be starting in July the 1st. I'm not sure if any recommendations have been made to employ a contract attorney, but I certainly think the attorney would need to be someone that is involved in the final process of adopting a policy.
Okay, so am I in order to direct the director to make the contact with the different Board of Elections in our surrounding vicinity and get back with us before we make a final decision on whether we're going to do this or not?
Yeah, most certainly.
All right, so we'll do that.
Madam Chair, may I have a question from what you said. You said to determine whether we're going to do this or not.
Yes.
The board, I thought you were talking about the attorney.
No, the policy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Her attorney information came in saying that the policy should include him.
Yes.
And everything she said is fine, but I want to make sure that the director knows that it would be her responsibility to make those contacts. And whoever the attorney is at that time, because we're in the process of doing something new with our attorney, is that not right?
Correct.
Okay. So everything that you said, I agree with. But I also want to make sure that it is in writing that we asked her to do that, so that she will bring that back to us on the next time.
Do you need that in form of a
satisfy you?
motion?
I don't think so.
I believe you can delegate that clearly. It's the board's intent to do so.
Clear.
As chair, I think I can do that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, B, new business B, budget amendment for harbor funds, Paula Seamster.
In your packets, there is about two pages of information. If I can get to it. Of the items that we have found that the Board of Elections is in need of. The top items are items that are over our $500 limit, and we'll have to have purchase orders for. And that would include 50 laptops for the precinct workers and 2 laptops for the office IT election workers, 15 security cards. And what the security card is, it would actually help the precinct chief judge make sure that they have everything in one location, and hopefully we'll be able to see if maintenance can deliver these at the same time that the DS-200 voting machines are delivered, and they would be sealed and padlocked. And I have found out that the state board would allow that if everything was sealed and padlocked. Then 4 generators, and they would be the electric start, just in case we do have power outages at some of the polling sites or if we have it at the office. 2 letter openers, and that's to help with the absentee ballots that come in. And then the PollCat equipment cart, and that's a ballot rack that would hold the absentee ballots until they're actually opened by the board. Those are the larger item tickets or ticket items. What's below there, we have hand trucks, folding machines. I mean, they actually do not require a purchase order, but all of these items will be needed on a budget amendment to be approved by the Board of Commissioners before we can actually move forward. But I just want to know if you had an opportunity to look at this list and just if some of the things need to be increased, if they need to be decreased. It's just seeing how you feel about it.
Board members, do you have any questions for Director?
I don't have a question, Madam Chair, but I would like to take a few moments for us to be able to look over this inventory sheet, because we've just received this, and this is what is in our workshop, so that we have just a few moments to study that against this list.
Okay, are you asking for a few moments as of right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Paula,
Yes, ma'am.
may I address Paula?
Yes.
These curbside alarms that are damaged, why do we still have them? Are they not usable?
We have received some new curbside alarms. The ones that are damaged, we might be able to use parts off of them, but we would not be able to use them. But there was a request to order more, just in case they were damaged.
And could you tell me what a cardboard transfer case is, and the 20 of them only cost $5.50?
I had that same question.
It's 200, they're $5.50 a piece. It's what carries
I
the...
see that now, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay, but it's what carries the ballots from
What
one
is
location.
that?
You actually have the ballots in there that go to the precincts so that they're secure. And they actually have the seal that is on there so that they're not opened until it's time to use them.
And I have one other question. Well, you weren't really here for this, But I noticed that on our inventory list, we have 19 cameras. Is that right? Or have I? Yeah. Right there.
Yes, 19.
So what is this camera you're requesting?
The GoPro, what that is to be able to film the procedures on how to use the DS200, how to load it, how to set it up, and we would be able to put those on the laptops at the precinct. So if something came up and they're not sure how to do something with the DS200, we would actually have it loaded on there. But it's a small video camera, and we're just requesting one of those to be able to record demonstrations that would help with the precinct workers.
And for the board members who were not present during election times, except for Nelson, who was present during many recounts, and I'll just bring this forward because the rest of you probably will need to know it at some time. The cameras, what we had tried to do was when the precinct officials went and set up for elections, they took a picture of the facility when they went in. And at the end, after all the voting equipment was gone, because there was a time when we were accused of damaging a building, and I feel sure we didn't, but we didn't have any proof of it. So those cameras, you might want to remember that.
Okay.
I don't have anything else, Madam Chair.
Anybody else have questions?
I do, yes, ma'am. I'd like to go back to the curbside alarms. It says that we have 7 curbside alarms. I thought we just ordered last year 15 new ones.
We do. We do have 15 new ones, and I've got to find out where they are. I think they're in one area boxed together, and it's never been opened. And they're in the warehouse, but they're there. I've been told they're there. I've just got to locate them. They have not been opened.
We also have on here the chimes. Alarms. We have 8 of those. Should we not have 15 of those?
There are probably, the chimes are probably already in the boxes for the precinct areas. Those were not actually opened up and a thorough inspection, but each of the boxes should have one in it. So these
really,
are the
Paula,
8 extra.
This inventory list may or may not be accurate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am, because those boxes were not opened, the precinct boxes themselves.
And of course, I think she probably would have, would be able to tell you more about them or go into them, but since she had the list, I thought that you guys would want to see them, and I just said bring them. Any other questions from any other board members?
I had one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
Under first aid kits, we have 0. Are they on this list?
They're out of date. The ones that are in the warehouse are out of date.
We don't have those, do we have those on this list?
Yes, ma'am. On the new list, it's on the second page, third from the bottom.
Oh, I see it, yeah. Okay.
Any other questions, anyone? So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve a budget amendment.
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask a question of Paula, if I might. Now, does this, what we have here today, exhaust all the funds for HAVA? Have we got more money left?
We have, let me get my sheet here. $125,557.59
Left.
is what we have left, but without taking any of this out of that.
Okay, next question. What is the time frame for spending this money?
Before today, it was June 30th, and I just received an email from Amy Strange at 11:07 today stating that I need to have the invoices in by the 22nd, which I did respond back and say that was not possible, and I was not the only one. There were others that were responding that we had all been told June 30th. So I'm still proceeding forward as and getting your approval, and then appearing before the Board of Commissioners next, and then proceeding on to get those invoices before the 30th.
Okay, does that mean if you get it all done, we will have spent all the HAVA funds?
No, sir. Because I was still trying to find more items, but right now, what the budget amendment, if you go by these two sheets, the budget amendment would be $100,563.63.
So between now and then, we need to spend it.
If you tell me that the budget amendment is going to be $125,000, I will do my best. Yes, sir.
Are we spending the money just to be spending it, or is there needs in the office?
What is on these sheets are the needs that are in the office, and there were some suggestions on additional items from the board as well as staff members.
So at this time, your plans are to spend $100,563, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But if we,
Yes.
I try to be good about that. If we are spending all money for all of our needs, why are we trying to scramble for other things to spend, just to spend the money?
So we don't send it back.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, to respond to my comments about it, many of these needs will continue from now on and on and on, right? As you look at the list of supplies, how long will each one of these items last as we do the job of running the elections? No, I'm not one to spend it frivolously, but
No, I just,
if we can utilize it in the future, then that's going to save having to scramble to get the money the next time around.
So I'd like to ask the director, are there any items on this list that you know will need to be replenished in the near future that we might look at to see if we can order maybe one more of this or one more of that? And we will know that we will have that on hand, and that's where we would get the money. I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, there's always a need for the tamper-resistant seals, the cardboard transfer cases. I mean, you'll always need those for future elections, as well as batteries, the Dymo labels, the Post-its, because the precinct workers use those constantly. First aid kits, but there again, they expire. So you can only buy them so many at a time. Toner's the same way. You can purchase cases of toner, but they do dry out. So you don't want to order too much and not be able to use it.
Madam Chair, may I? I know in my experience, when we worked out there to organize the workshop, we had a group that got together and We worked out there for a whole week organizing the workshop last year. And as we did that, and as we looked at our inventory, so much of the stuff that we had purchased in bulk when we had money, like batteries, were out of date, like glue that had hardened, like markers that had dried up. So I have a real issue with us just stockpiling those things because you can't always use them. And to me, that's a waste of money.
Have the expiration dates on any of these items been checked?
On the cartridges, yes, and that's how we found out that the first aid kits had expired, was the expiration dates. But yes, ma'am.
Batteries also?
The batteries, we've purchased some of those recently, so these are all still in date.
We get about 10 years, I think, on the battery. I'm just asking.
Oh, wow.
I don't know either.
So board members, where do you suggest we go with the spending of the additional monies? If we look at this list and find some things, not markers, most people should realize that markers are going to dry out, and some of the other things that the batteries will expire and those kinds of things. But do you have, can we ask her to look at the list and see if we need any additional things from the list that we could get closer to the amount of money?
Madam Chair, don't we need a vote on this today for it to be put on the agenda for the county commissioners?
Yes, we do. So does that mean if she goes back and she looks to see that there are some items that needed, that she can add, that would not be a waste? We have to have a call meeting? Is that?
I would think so, if you're going to add to this.
I think you would have to, because I'm sure the commissioners will say, did the board vote on this?
Yeah, I know they will. I know they will. So,
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion, if you're ready for that.
okay, I want to be sure that everybody is, first of all, on one accord about the whole thing. And I know we'll find that out once your motion is made. So if there's no other discussion.
I'd like to say one thing. Paula, I would like for you to make sure that if there are other things that you need that won't go wasted right away, I think you need to put it on this list, so when we do have a meeting, we'll be able to understand what else you need to have added.
That would have to be done today, Leanna. We've got to approve it for it to go to the county commissioners. Or either we've got to have a call meeting. If she adds anything to this list, we've got to have a meeting to approve that.
And today is the 15th, so we still have a few days, right?
To next Monday?
We'll have to do what we have to do.
Well, I will be leaving in the morning to go out of town, and I will not be back until Sunday.
I think the list is thorough. I mean, I've gone through it, I've added, I've tried to go through as much as I could even think of and called other counties, and other counties have been trying to share all the information of what the things they were purchasing were as well. So as far as I can tell, these are the items that we do need.
We can always have a phone meeting, if I'm not mistaken. If we have to, you will have a phone, right?
Yes.
We have done that in the past.
Right. If we have to have a telephone conference concerning, if she can do something within the next few days, so we can get it to the county commissioners is, anyone?
Well, I don't have a problem with that, but if Paula thinks this is sufficient, I'm pretty willing to go with her opinion, but I'll do whatever the pleasure of the board.
Okay, let's entertain your motion.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the recommendation of the spending of the proposed HAVA expenditures as submitted by Director Paula Seamster of $100,563.63.
You heard the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and second that we approve the proposed HAVA funding expenditures that have been given to us from our director. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. You have unanimously agreed that we receive the proposed HAVA funding expenditures given to us from our director. All right, we're going on to C, farewell. Member Ferguson.
Madam Chair, before I begin, I'd like to recognize a very distinguished member of our community that has come to visit with us today and to see what we do here at the Board of Elections. And I'd like to say thank you to Ms. Jean Harrington for you taking the time out of your day to come and be with us today. We're glad to have you. First, I'd like to say thank you to the Rockingham County GOP for allowing me the opportunity to serve on this board for 4 years. I'd like to thank Tony Reese for your patience, guidance, and friendship during this time. You've taught me a great deal about our elections. You have always been available and willing to help me or any citizen find and understand the answers we sought. Your friendship during this time has been priceless. It is truly a travesty for our county for you to leave the Rockingham County Board of Elections. I thank you again, and I wish you great health and much success in your new endeavors. Thank you also to Leanna Lawson for always opening your ears, heart, and mind to work across the partisan lines to make our elections the best they could be. I appreciate your friendship, and I look forward to our future as friends. To County Commissioners Charlie Hall, Kevin Berger, Reese Pirtle, and Mark Richardson, thank you for always having the Rockingham County Board of Elections back. You have been invaluable during my tenure on the board. To Kelly, Miles, Wally, and Meredith, please know that you played no role in my leaving. I made my decision not to be reappointed in November of 2020. The first 2 years I served were a really great learning experience. We had a great chair, and everyone worked well together. Not to say we didn't disagree, but we chose to be nonpartisan. Then in April of 2019, the governor decided he would anoint the chair to County Board of Elections. The Rockingham County Board of Elections became the most partisan I had seen. Because of that anointment of the chair, he made every item that came before this board partisan. He felt as if he had special powers and tried to enforce them every day. Through all of the daily struggles, we were desperate to keep partisan politics out of our office. So no, none of you had any influence in my decision not to be reappointed. My party contacted me and asked me to stay. I told them I had my mind made up to leave, and they asked me to please reconsider. I did reconsider and came to the same conclusion. I can be a better advocate for the voters of this great county by not being on this board and being active in the campaigns of this county, which is not allowable when you are a member of the Board of Elections. I've worked very hard to listen, weigh, and make the best decisions I possibly could with all the information I could gather. Some of my decisions pleased some of you and some didn't. I feel very satisfied with all the decisions I made. Most of you don't have all the facts for all the decisions we are tasked to make. However, you've been very quick to judge. I wish the staff and future Board of Rockingham County Board of Elections much success, because you will need it to weather the partisan divide that was created over the last 2 years by the chair. Again, thank you, Tony and Leanna. I've enjoyed working with you both.
Any farewells from anyone else?
I would like to be recognized.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Bonnie, for those kind words and for your years of service. Although asked, I too have chosen not to seek reappointment. I was first appointed to this board in 2008. And on a lighter note, as I was thinking about my notes for today, I thought, man, that's only been 13 years. Maybe I should stay on a little while longer. But it's a little late for that, so I have chosen not to. But as you know, the majority of members on this board are the party of the sitting governor. So over these years, I have been in the majority and I have been in the minority. But until 2 years ago, we all worked together and we were able to function as a nonpartisan team. I was thinking the other night about a conversation I had with someone I have always had a great deal of respect for. We were at a political forum, and she said to me, you know, Tony, you and I will never agree politically, but we will always listen, and we will always be friends. And I have tried to do that. I have tried to be approachable to both parties, and I think I have done that. We have had so many challenges over the past couple of years. We had personnel changes, we had budget issues, we had an election like no other. We had the pandemic, and probably the most controversial of all of that was the return of the private grant that was allocated for early voting precinct workers. Not one person in this county, even my own party, said to me, Tony, why did you vote like that? Nobody. But it seems people didn't hesitate to complain to the media. And I don't listen to news too, but I did get a phone call that night and told me to turn on the TV, which I did. And I do have to give it to Miles. He had done his homework. He did a great job of reporting that story. And he had worked on it probably for many hours. But what I failed to hear from him was that these people said they got a $3 an hour raise. And if I'm not mistaken, 57 of the 61 people that got that raise also worked Election Day, and they got an additional $125. Miles didn't bother to say they were very grateful they got that. And then I hear that they were complaining that they had worked for elections and they had put their lives in danger. They didn't want COVID. Trust me, I've had COVID and nobody wants it. But we had people working in the office. They were at risk too because they were dealing with the public as well. But I never heard them complain about their money. Never. We had people, first responders, working in this county, hours upon hours, and they never got a bonus. But I want you to know, now there's a bill in the state Senate to prohibit election officials from accepting private funds. If I had to vote again right this minute, knowing the controversy it has caused, I would still vote no. These people were not forced to work an election. They were offered the opportunity. They accepted it, and they knew what their pay was in advance. I would like to share a quote with you that I read the other day from a local citizen, and I may quote, "The Board of Elections is the only government entity that Democrats own, and we need it to reflect our values," end quote. Let me read that to you one more time. The Board of Elections is the only government entity that Democrats own, and we need it to reflect our values. That came from someone who, over the years, has asked me to explain policy, and I have never refused that person. And that mindset, my friends, is what has caused the major divide on this board. And if you believe that any one political party owns the Board of Elections, you are sadly mistaken, because that is not the case. I would like to thank the GOP for allowing me to serve. It has been a wonderful experience and a pleasure to serve the citizens of this county. I can assure you that I believe in the process. I believe in this county. I admire our leaders, and I have the utmost faith that this county is not corrupt. I can also assure you that I will not be a stranger to the Board of Elections or the elections process. In fact, you may even see my name on an upcoming ballot. I would like to thank Leanna Lawson. If anybody in this county has been a public servant, it's you, Leanna. And you have been a pleasure to work with. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, Bonnie. And lastly, Madam Chair, I wish you nothing but the best. My hope for you is that you will strive to reunite this board and lead them in a nonpartisan direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say, my name is Leanna Lawson. I just wanted to say I have enjoyed working with the board, and I've done a lot for to help Rockingham County, still in the process now of being very visible and giving the COVID vaccine. I did run for county commissioner at one time. I have helped with the Citizens Academy. I've done all I could to help Rockingham County and the people here. Having been a member of this board has been a great learning experience, and I thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for your farewell and all the additionals that you added to a farewell. I would like for you ladies right now to come down front because we have something we'd like to present to you. And I know this is not on the agenda.
Is it $1 million?
And I didn't have to ask you about it. It's gonna happen.
$1 million, that come from HAVA funds? $1 million, is that HAVA funds?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Mango.
So at this time, the Board of Elections would like to present to you ladies a certificate of achievement, and it says this certified whereby awarded to your names in appreciation of devoted and invaluable services rendered to the Rockingham County Board of Elections, signed by the chair, June 15th, 2021. Leanna Lawson.
Thank you.
Bonnie Ferguson, and Tony Reese.
Thank you. Thank you
So
very much.
hang it someplace to
Where's
help
the
you
check
to
or the
remember.
Rolex watch?
Well,
I thought we had $1 million.
we don't have $1 million. Thank you for your service. Thank you for getting that ready. And now we are looking at 9, Director's Update, Municipal Elections, November 2nd, 2021, if she has any information she wants to give us on that.
Is we're still moving forward as if the election is going to occur on November the 2nd. They're still trying to figure out which municipalities will be delayed, but it looks like Rockingham may not be delayed unless something happens. But anyway, the candidate filing period begins on July the 2nd at noon through July the 16th at noon. The Eden candidate filing period begins on July the 26th at noon through August the 13th at noon. One-stop voting will take place at the Board of Elections office October the 14th through October the 30th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, can you, first chance you get, could you send that to us in writing?
Yes, ma'am.
And ladies, we'll get this in writing if you need. Do you have a question?
I do. I believe before we can advertise that one stop will be at the office, that'll have to be voted on by the board.
Okay.
They're the ones that set the one stop hours and days.
I was told that was where it normally was held and when.
Oh, it is.
Oh, okay.
It is held there, but the dates have to be approved by the board.
Okay. Thank you.
So right now, we're just saying that the municipal elections will take place on November 2nd, 2021, and then we will set the dates if it turns out that we continue the same route that we've taken in the past. Any other discussion from any other board members before we move on to closed session?
I don't have anything.
All right.
I have one question, which probably goes back to when we were discussing policies about the attorney. Are we going to have a meeting to discuss that, the hiring of an attorney before July 1, or?
Well, I was thinking that we were going to discuss some things in closed session. It doesn't, I mean, it's a personnel.
John?
Yeah, well, I think unless you have specific candidates in mind, you could talk about
No,
credentials.
We have no direction. I'm asking for direction in closed session. Doesn't it have personnel? I mean, we've been told the amount of money that's going to be put out there for us to use, so I figured that has to do.
The only carve-out for, if we're talking about personnel, is we're talking about specific individuals and their credentials. And I believe that what would need to be done is have the research get names, those that, of lawyers, attorneys that would fit the role, and then have a more productive discussion at that point.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm on the same page with you. So you're suggesting that we get a list of people who we think will be the best fit, and then have that discussion?
Yes, that would be, yes.
Open session.
Well, it may be more conducive to a closed session if you discuss specific individuals, attorneys, and their competencies and their background, so you can hone in on that, on a specific candidate or candidates. But that would be more conducive to a closed session, I would say.
Okay, and then at that time, there will be some recognition, if that's what you get ready.
I was getting ready to say, then the actual hiring would be done in open, isn't that correct?
I would take action in open.
Yeah, once we,
Once we get all the open.
right.
So are we going to direct Paula to do that, or
If
what's the
that is
next
your
step?
pleasure for the board members? Is that what you'd like to do, board members?
I think we need to get to work on that, because it has to be in place by July 1.
Right. So, Director Seamster, we're directing you to formulate a list of individuals who will fit be best fit to serve as an attorney or counsel for the Board of Elections. And we still have to keep in mind the monetary amount that the county commissioners are going to give us. And from my understanding, it wasn't heard by me, but was passed on to me, that if the amount of money that they are going to give us is not enough, we can come back and ask for some more. So I don't know.
You heard that old saying, ask and you shall receive.
Well, I'm just
You
saying,
might want to just ask.
sometimes if you don't ask,
I'm not
you don't
sure you'll
get.
receive.
Okay, so certainly we would like to go back and ask if we have to, because I have no idea, none of us have no
I
idea.
will say that some of the other county agencies have contract attorneys. And Paula, that may be somewhere she wants to start to get some of those names.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're ready now for a motion to go into closed session. I'd like to thank our individuals who are here to keep up with the Board of Elections and to say farewell to those individuals who will not.
Madam Chairman, before you ask us to leave, I realize we'll be.
Okay, would you mind allowing me to finish?
One thing.
Will you allow me to finish saying what I'm saying, and then I'll allow that to happen?
She cannot hear you.
I just want to thank these retired people for that time. I know it has been a difficult job. I appreciate what these three have done. Thank you.
Thank you. I lost my train of thought. So anyway, we're ready now for, to go into closed session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A6 to discuss personnel, and I'd like to have a 5-minute break.
Okay. And do we have a second?
I second that.
It has been moved and second that we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A6 for personnel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. You have closed our session, and we're having a 5-minute break before we go into closed session. Thank you once again for coming.
I'm going to help Ms. Harrington.
Okay. Okay.
I move we adjourn.
He's got to get it up. He's up now. Now you can do it.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we adjourn our meeting at
444.
4:44
And
p.m.
if you hurry, you beat the crowd.
All in favor, say aye.
Huh?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. You have unanimously agreed to adjourn. Thank you all.